The other side is you have patients who are overnourished, which leads to malnutrition,
Okay. Overnourished,
therefore
which,
malnourished. The body is fantastic. It can recycle so many things, especially
yeah,
proteins.
yeah.
It can recycle. It's not a big.
What do you mean by recycle? It's a blanket thing, right? That we should not give laxatives for a prolonged period, no, to people.
Yes, I would say so. I would certainly agree to what you're saying. I
Remember
know
it.
quite a few patients who, if you press them anywhere, they burp.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you just press them any point on the body and they burp.
Namaskar. Welcome to the Meeting Point podcast. This is Sarika, your host. Today's episode is about Ayurveda and the digestive system. Our guest today is Dr. Neelesh Taware, with whom we are going to explore the digestive health, the constipation that everyone suffers, overnourishment, role of Vata, Pitta, and Kapha, these three doshas, with regards to digestive system, and much, much more. Trust me, you want to watch this episode till the end because this episode has lot of insights, lot of information shared by Dr. Nilesh. Yeah. So without spending much time, let us begin and watch this episode. Namaskar, doctor. Welcome to the Meeting Point podcast.
Namaste, Sarika. Thank you for
So
inviting.
this is what, like, our third podcast together.
Yes,
So excited.
very exciting. Absolutely. Absolutely exciting.
So this time we're going to talk about what gut health, constipation, and bloating and whatnot, the issues related to gut health. So most basic fundamental question is, people keep talking about gut health, but what is gut? Or, what should we define as gut is healthy?
I, I believe that a few people have the misunderstanding or misconception about what the gut means because lot of them think it's probably just the small intestine or the large intestine.
Okay.
But I I would say the gut implies your digestive system,
Okay.
especially the important organs become the ones which are present in your abdomen.
Okay.
So anything, so I would say the stomach, the small intestine, and the large intestine.
Okay.
Uh, but regarding the bacteria, there is that is probably why the meaning of gut is always taken in context with understanding it as the large intestine. So because the number of bacteria which are present over there is much higher compared to what you would find in the stomach, etc. So that
Okay.
their density is very high over there, and
Okay.
that's the reason why a lot of people would understand gut as the large intestine.
Aha. Okay. So then if your large intestine is good and healthy, functioning well, then probably you don't suffer all the issues that we hear about related to gut. Can we say that, or?
I would say, see, it's a channel, it's a system which starts from the mouth and ends at
Right.
the point of the anus.
Right.
So in this, from the Ayurvedic perspective, I would say, for example, how you chew your food, how long you chew it, is also going to have a big impact on how it is going to be digested. So if you look at it from the modern perspective, a bolus has to be formed, which you're going to consume, which has already a lot more fluid. So, for example, we have some dry Indian breads. I mean, I've grown up with bhakri.
Hmm.
I hope our viewers know what it is. It's a completely dry kind of a millet,
Yeah.
which needs to be moistened when you are consuming. But if it is not going to be moistened properly, because the person is not chewing it properly, it would get it would make the body difficult to digest.
Okay.
So if the start is not good, every phase there are certain changes which the body brings in for the digestion processes, and all of them ultimately, are as in the large intestine, everything comes in over there and then we excrete it. So
Okay.
it's actually dependent on one another. So thus, if you're
Okay.
not chewing, you might get constipation. If you're having hyperacidity, you're still going to get bloating. Or if you're eating foods which are not suitable to your system, that can also lead to bloating. So, or
Okay.
bloating or discomfort or pain, ultimately that your gut is a bit disrupted.
Okay. Okay. So there's so many multiple factors responsible for the gut to be healthy, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So coming back to, we hear these terms a lot, vat, pitta, and kapha in Ayurveda. Okay, what role do they have to play in a person's
Digestion.
gut health or
Yeah,
digestion?
Ayurveda doesn't pick the word gut health. It
Huh.
looks
Digestion.
at your digestive system,
Okay.
and along with the digestive system, the excretory system related to stools is also taken into consideration
Okay.
when we really want to keep focus to a certain context. In this context, I mean the gut. So that way, Ayurveda has these three basic principles: Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. And with relation to the gut, we can say that. Uh, all the motion that is involved with it. So, including, in my opinion, to the part of chewing and your tongue helping you gulping it down and getting inside the system. Everywhere, wherever there is some movement involved, Vata is playing a very uh, uh, important role.
Okay.
So then you have, for example, just the movement part of it. When the food is digested, it is separated from stuff which your body requires and stuff which the body wants to expel at a certain time. So
Right.
this is done by Vata.
Okay.
Absorption is also helped by Vata. So
Okay.
movement in absorption, ultimately there is some movement. So some molecules are moving from inside the gut to the outside of the gut. It means to the circulation, so that
Okay.
those nutrients can be picked up and taken by some special nerve. There's a special venous supply called as portal system inside the stomach. It picks up those nutrients and gets it into the liver, and the liver can further metabolize it into exactly into the form that our body can now use.
Okay.
So that
Okay.
way, Vata is moving things around. Kapha is in with relation to the digestive part. Kapha is helping you to get the uh, bolus in a very good consistency, which could be like a paste. So that pasty form that comes with the help of kapha.
Okay.
Mucus is a very good expression for it, which sorry, a very good thing which we could consider as a expression of kapha. So
Okay.
mucus in the mouth, mucus in the large intestine, small intestine, or even the stomach.
Hmm.
Stomach produces a lot of mucus as well,
Hmm. Hmm.
so that you have the food digested, but for the digestion it is made into a paste, but for the paste you require maybe some liquids which are going to hold it in a liquidy form. So these aspects which help the body to move the food right from the mouth to the excretion part is supported by kapha.
Okay.
The other thing about kapha I would like to mention is there is a lot of wear and tear going on in our gut or in our
Okay.
digestive system that needs to be healed, where kapha also plays an important role.
Wear and tear as in,
So, for example, you eat something, your stomach is churning things up.
right.
That churning part might cause some wear and tear. Wear and tear in the sense the stomach lining has a layer of cells. The uppermost layer will go off, and it needs
Okay.
to be replaced by the newer one, which means it is going to this process is supported by the energy of kapha.
Okay.
And for pitta, it is the transformation of substances which go through the mouth into your system,
Okay.
and then they become a part of the body. So there's
Okay.
a huge conversion between you know a piece of bread which is going to be converted into skin or muscle. There's
Mm.
a huge change in the molecular structure
Right.
and everything else.
Right.
So that is supported by pitta when we talk about the conversion parts.
Okay. Okay. So we need all three to be in a certain balanced state or adequate in the body for the process to be completed.
Yeah, yeah. All the three have their functions to be performed.
Correct.
All the three work in harmony.
Hmm.
So they
Hmm.
have
Hmm.
to work together. So,
They have to work
by the
together.
time Pitta is, for example, digesting the food into it's breaking down the food, which the body can absorb. So while it is breaking down, the function of Vata is to actually separate them out and pick them up as well.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
So, as an example, if it doesn't happen this way, the patient might say, well, I have a lot of food articles still in my stools. And that is because pitta is not functioning. Sometimes, along with it, vata is also not functioning because then it is not picking up the nutrients which the body requires.
Hmm. Hmm.
So, it can become quite complex.
Okay.
Some people have heavy mucus in the stool, which is sticky, which makes the person feel that he's unable to empty himself because there's still something sticky inside the sensory area, which
Mm-hmm.
gives the signal to our brain or ultimately to us that, well, I still am not empty, although I have passed stools.
Mm-hmm.
So that way, kapha can be a villain if it is not working well, just like we saw that food is not digested and you have food particles. Even as simple as rice particles can be seen in stools, etc.
Okay.
You can see it very commonly when a person goes through a bout of diarrhea. Just
Hmm.
push
Hmm.
anything you take and it's just pushed down within a few half an hour or 20 minutes or 1 hour,
Okay. Okay.
which means that the gut is protected or it's functioning because of all the three.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. So they have to work in harmony, otherwise it goes for a toss. And I think probably every second person I'm coming across will have some imbalance or the other in
Yeah,
their
they
gut.
can have.
They
But the
can have.
imbalance will express themselves only if there is some weak point in the body. So, for
Okay.
example, if you and me are outside and we get unfortunately wet because of the heavy rain,
Hmm.
plus the dirt and everything,
Hmm.
I might get a headache, I might get body ache and fever,
Hmm.
whereas you might get just a runny nose.
Hmm. Hmm.
So
Yeah.
the expression of these things depends also which system is weaker in your body.
Okay.
So the
Okay.
weaker system is the one which is going to be vulnerable. So once
Hmm.
the dosha
Hmm.
go out of harmony, the one which is aggressive, that dosha,
Is going to
vata or
dominate.
pitta or
Yeah.
kapha,
Yeah.
this dosha is going to now cause the dysfunction,
Hmm.
and
Hmm. Hmm.
it kind of attacks the weak point in the body.
Okay.
So body
Okay.
can't bear and then it collapses. So it could start with the respiratory system. It could start, for example,
Hmm.
I might get body ache
Hmm.
with pain in the joint. So another system is getting involved in it.
Right. Right.
Although both of us have had the issue of getting wet and outside in the,
Correct.
I
Correct.
mean, in this hypothetical situation.
Yeah. Yeah. The body reacts differently for each
Correct.
individual, like that. Okay. You were talking about, I think, the stool formation, sticky stool or whatever. Can we talk a little more on that, on the stool formation, or what
Yeah.
is a good stool?
Yeah. I would say that the stool should be formed like a very ripe banana,
Okay.
the consistency wise.
Okay.
For the color, you have everybody sees his stools from childhood on. So whatever, every day or every, even let us say in a person who's unwell, every second day, you get to see the color of the stool. You know the odor which your stool has. So these are very simple things where you start. If the moment you start to see, well, this is not what I know,
Hmm.
then you need to be looking at it. There shouldn't be pain. So
Hmm.
a few things to add to the normal part would be one or two motions in a day, because
Okay.
you're having an average person would have 3 meals in a day, and they are just not coming together as one single entity. But we make a single entity out of it when you are passing stools just once a day.
Hmm. Hmm.
So ideally, couple of motions are good because two meals might be major, and one could be a minor meal depending on which part of the day you're taking.
Okay.
So the number of large meals should be equal to the number of bowel motion that you have.
Okay.
That gives us the suggestion that my gut is working in this context at least correctly. So the form itself like a very ripe banana.
Hmm.
I think most importantly is also the feeling of evacuation. Yeah. So for example,
Okay.
you pass urine and you know, okay, wow, I'm empty.
Right.
Similarly, with relation to stools also, that you feel nice, satisfied, that symptom has to be present,
Be
at least in
present.
my
Hmm.
opinion. it,
Hmm.
it's
Hmm.
not it is not so mechanical.
Hmm. Hmm.
There's a lot of biology, there's a lot of nervous system involved in it, where the sensations from the brain to the gut and from the gut to the brain are working
Hmm.
together.
Hmm.
And then once you've passed the stools, you see, okay, now I'm fine, and that's a great thing. Many people have motion but they don't feel satisfied, so that
Hmm.
needs to be taken into account. So
Okay.
from the Ayurvedic perspective, there are different types of disorders just related to passing of the stool itself. So hard stool, too soft stool, runny stool, that's the consistency of the stool.
Hmm.
Then you have this color of the stools, then you have the smell of the stool. And lastly, like I mentioned, the feeling of good proper evacuation.
Hmm. Okay, okay. Many people don't have like a good consistency in the stool in terms of where you said raw banana or so. I've seen images of, internet now, social media is so ripe with all the information. The different formations of stools and all of that are given out. So people again with different bodies will have different kinds of stools
Absolutely,
coming out, right?
absolutely. So you're bang on right.
Okay.
This the ripe banana is a good target to hold.
Hmm.
So you will have Vata Prakriti people who might have a very hard stool, as an example,
Okay.
just once or every second day, one motion, and the stool itself is very hard. This comes from the constitution of the person.
Hmm.
But that hard stool might be painful to pass out.
Oh, okay.
That hard stool doesn't move, so there's no there's hardly any lubrication left for it because it has become so hard.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
kapha is not performing its function, or vata has become too much and it's not allowing this function to happen properly.
Okay.
So with that in mind, there can be different types. Pitta would be a person who certainly has 2 or 3 motions in a day,
Okay.
and then this motion will be much more softer than a very ripe banana,
Hmm.
but still that person could aim to get this kind of
Hmm.
a
Hmm.
stool.
Hmm.
That could be a very good aim, and if it is there, then well, you can say my gut is absolutely fine.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Pitta
Interesting.
prakriti will have 3 motions, 4 motions, because they are usually very hungry. Their meal portions are also not as small as, let us say, kapha. Kapha probably require less amount of food to get the energy and to function properly, but pitta would, they eat something and 20 minutes later, ten minutes later, they are already looking for a piece of chocolate or something. And then after that, again, in a couple of hours or in an hour, then there needs to be a nice cup of tea with maybe some biscuits or something. So their
Okay.
appetites are different, their digestive power is different. In all these in these examples, the pitta prakriti would have a softer stool,
Okay.
but still, I would say the target could be getting a stool which is like a ripe banana.
Okay. All right. Many people complain about bloating,
Mhm.
or I have seen rather, even in the family, that people are just burping. Immediately after food, they're burping, or they feel bloated, stomach is distended, or whatever. What could be the cause for that?
It's
Again,
there are,
digestion.
yes, there are many causes for this. We can go through every so we can look at it into the form of kapha, vata, pitta, and vata. So the beginning stage of all digestion is in the mouth, where we are crushing the food.
Yeah.
There is some saliva which is coming in and making the food more moist.
Okay.
So from the Ayurvedic perspective, there is a kapha active over in the mouth. It's active, and this kapha, if it is not going to perform its function properly, the bolus of food is not going to be converted into this chyme. It's a word for, I may be pronouncing it wrong, but chyme is one paste which is formed in the stomach, but
Okay.
it needs the support of the saliva which is being secreted inside the mouth. So it starts with the help of kapha in the mouth. So that you in Ayurveda there is a concept: if you eat too fast, you will get digestion issues.
Okay.
So eating fast actually has an effect where the body doesn't get the chance to break down the food physically in the mouth, plus adding a little bit of moisture which comes from the saliva.
Hmm.
So this is called as bodhak kapha from the
Okay.
Ayurvedic perspective.
Okay.
And then once it gets into through the esophagus into the stomach, it has to already have a good consistency.
Hmm.
If it is not having a good consistency, the stomach is not going to function properly. It is going to be stressed. So there itself you can have the start of bloating.
Aha.
So the stomach is supposed to digest, break down the food. It goes ahead into the small intestine. The small intestine and the stomach both are considered as important seats of pitta.
Okay.
Stomach is also, you have a lot of mucus. If you look at the number of amount of mucus that is generated all through the digestive tract, stomach is one of the major contributors.
Is it? Okay.
So in the first phase, you have a lot of mucus coming in to form this pasty structure which
Hmm.
can be
Hmm.
easily moved inside this closed
Hmm.
uh, digestive tract
Hmm.
or the
Hmm.
alimentary canal. So if that paste is not in an optimum form, the body is going to try to somehow take care of it,
Hmm.
which already starts with then bloating.
Okay.
If pitta is not functioning very well, if it is not able to break down the food in a manner that it should be, there itself again you might have bloating which might start, and to the
Okay.
point where in both these examples, bloating is vata is unable to function properly. This vat can try to find a way out, which is coming out through your mouth in the form of burping. And it could just be actually a signal, a nervous signal sent by the body saying, well, things are not right.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
you have to burp a lot.
Mm.
If we stick to the part of burping, one of the most simplest methods to deal with is just, reduce your food amount. I have just discovered in a lot of countries, in a lot of different cultures, there is the concept of Shatapauli, which means you take 100 steps
Oh,
of or more than 100 steps post meals.
post meal,
So I
yeah.
usually suggest patients with burping issues and even hyperacidity, which is a part of the gut or the gut function. If you have too much of acid getting into the stomach, this acidy paste, when it comes down into the small intestine, it needs to be neutralized. The pH needs to drop down, which is the acid part, and then it needs to also be picked up. And this drop down and pick up both are important. But if the food itself is still not in this pasty form, all these enzymes, all these acids, or the enzymes which are alkaline or are liver juice or pancreatic juice, they can't reach into the particles. If it's a
Mm.
chunk, they're just going to be on the surface. They can't break it down properly.
Right.
So that means another reason for getting bloating. This bloating
Mm.
can lead to upward as well as downward passing of
Okay.
flatus. Like you have burping and you have passing out of flatus. It
Mm-hmm.
can be also in those cases.
Okay.
And vata, I think I've mentioned number of times, is it's one of the major ones which is getting disturbed. Therefore, you have reverse movement. Normally the food should go down and
Hmm.
nothing should come up.
Hmm.
Even
Hmm.
air shouldn't come up normally.
Hmm.
Once in a while, it can happen, but it's not how the esophagus functions. It usually moves in a unidirection. So the
Okay.
movement should be from the mouth to the excretion. So
Okay.
that is a standard movement. So that can become too fast, or then it can become uncoordinated. So
Aha.
and most of them, when the movement is not happening properly, it leads to burping or passing of flatus or
Okay.
production of more air. Food is broken down and not broken down properly. We have the gut bacteria in the large intestine. They are the ones who do a lot of breaking down of food material that we've eaten and pick it up, and the colon picks it up, and then we have our minerals and vitamins which are then used by the body. But anywhere something goes wrong, chances are very good that you are bloated.
Okay.
And what I wanted to say about this is this: walking after a meal is really a very simple but a fantastic way
Yeah.
of supporting your digestive system and ultimately also your gut bacteria. So now if we talk about gut bacteria, now we're putting information from Ayurveda and information of modern medicine together,
Together.
because
Mm-hmm.
Ayurveda doesn't talk about gut bacteria. It talks about gut health in this manner. Are you getting good stools? Are you hungry? Are you do you feel like you should eat food? Sometimes you're hungry and you try to eat food and you just don't want to eat it again.
Mm-hmm.
So all these signs and symptoms are considered as part of the digestive system,
Okay.
and
Okay.
simply paying a closer look at these things. We take too many things for
Things for
granted.
granted.
So it takes a while till you understand, oh, there's some sort
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
issue that
Yeah.
I'm facing.
Okay. This might be a silly question for you, okay? Where is acid, vat, and kapha generated in the body or produced in the body?
Well, f- to your first comment, I would first and foremost like to tell you that there are no stupid questions, there are only
Okay.
stupid answers. So if at all there can be a stupid answer, so the burden is all on me.
Oh God.
So Vat Pitta Kapha, if you want to look at it this way, we need, from the Ayurvedic perspective, Vat, Pitta, and Kapha are considered as uh, In today's language, we could call it as energies.
Okay.
So generally, you can't say, well, I have a teaspoon of vata or a teaspoon of pitta or a teaspoon
Hmm.
of kapha.
Hmm.
It's not possible.
Hmm.
They do express themselves in different formats. So, for
Okay.
example, mucus is seen as an expression of kapha,
Right.
or acid which is produced in the stomach, it is seen as an expression of pitta.
Pitta.
Even the liver juice, which is called as bile,
Hmm.
when it also comes into the small intestine and helps into metabolizing or breaking down fats, etc.
Okay.
So this can be seen as an expression of pitta. And like I
Okay.
mentioned, the motion part, that can be seen as an expression of vata.
Yeah.
So these three are considered as the driving energies or principles which make our body function as a biological organism.
Okay. Okay.
So where they are produced, where they are, uh, so when we talk about where is Vata Pitta Kapha produced, that's going
Hmm.
to be one answer. And if you're asking me where is the acid produced, that's another answer.
Okay. Okay.
Do, do you want me to
Vata
address
Pitta
both?
Kapha.
Okay. So Vata Pitta Kapha, you are born with them. Okay,
Okay.
it's the time, the moment the conception occurs, the moment the sperm hits the ovum and the zygote is formed, that's already the beginning of Vata, Pitta,
Okay.
and Kapha.
Okay.
So the thing in Ayurveda, we say that the fetus is nourished by Kapha. Vata helps to give the form to the uterus. So, for example,
Form.
a single cell is now converted into two cells. Then the two cells again break down and you have four cells. So, this activity is done by Vata.
Okay.
And all the conversions that are involved in it, those are supported by Pitta. So, you
Okay.
have all these things all the time in your body, just like they are a part of you. Certain foods, certain habits will increase Vata, Pitta, or Kapha, as well as they can reduce Vata, Pitta, and Kapha.
Okay.
And that is what we try to do when a patient is sitting in front of us. We try to analyze which dosha is more, and
Hmm.
we help to try to help the person to have this specific dosha come down.
Okay. So they are there, they're present in the body, but there's no one place where they are produced. Like, acid is produced in the stomach,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
So, likewise, where is vata produced? Where is.
Vata is Vata is actually not produced in the way that you are imagining it. So
Okay.
you have three basic sites when it comes to the digestive system. All the three are seen as the most important sites of Vata, Pitta, and Kapha.
Right.
So stomach is seen as the most important place of Kapha or the site of Kapha. Small intestine, which is the duodenum and the jejunum,
Hmm.
this is seen as the most important site of Pitta,
Pitta.
and the large intestine, which would be the cecum, the ascending colon, the transverse colon, the descending colon, and even the sigmoid aspect of the colon up to the anus. Or this is considered as the seat of Vata.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Now, if you have things which are increasing kapha or increasing pitta, or have in the sense your meal is like that, or your lifestyle is like that, or anything else, the weather changes, they have an effect on our body which may increase vata, pitta, or kapha, or two, or all the three.
Okay.
Now these increase, there is no place which we can say that my vata is increased in the small intestine, my pitta is increased in the large intestine, or it is formed over there. I wouldn't say that is the case.
Okay.
Those are important sites where you see the expression of these dosha to the maximum. And when we want to eliminate these doshas, then we use these main areas. So for example, if you want to eliminate excess vata in your body, the therapy of enema is considered as the best therapy. If you have a lot of kapha in your body, then the therapy of emesis, that is vomiting,
Hmm.
is
Hmm.
considered as the best therapy.
Hmm.
If you have excessive pitta, then purgation. So you take a medicine and you have loose motions after that because of the
Okay.
medicine. This is seen as a method to cleanse your body from the excess pitta that you have.
All right. All right.
But to your question, is there any specific part that it is produced? You might see books which say that it is produced, kapha is produced in the stomach, small intestine, pitta is produced in the small intestine, vata is produced in the large intestine.
Hmm.
So that goes. I
Okay.
don't agree though completely to it. It's okay. It's a good way to
Hmm. Hmm.
start,
Hmm.
but there
Hmm.
are many other places where these energies express themselves and they can be increased.
Okay. Because I would always wonder, uh, people who would have joint pains, they would say, okay, this is because of what arthritis and all of that. So that would make me wonder that, okay, what is it getting produced in the joints or uh, any bony part or whatever? That would make
Yeah.
me wonder always.
Yes, yes.
So okay, so
But
it's there.
it's there, and it can increase. So it can
Hmm, hmm.
increase in general. For example, if I go out in the rain and it plus there is a cold wind gush, that rain falling on me cools my system too rapidly.
Okay.
That cooling aspect, so every dosha has its own characteristic properties
Yes.
according to Ayurvedic perspective.
Yes.
So you have kapha is sticky as an example, pitta is yellow in color as an example,
Hmm.
or vata is cold by its character, pitta is warm by character. So now if I am going to go out and get myself exposed to cold, this cold to which my whole body is exposed to causes the increase in vata. So
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say that in that case my intestine did something and now I have increase in vata,
Mm.
which is also a possibility. If I eat wrong foods are getting into my gut, they are going to ultimately increase or decrease vata,
Hmm.
pitta,
Hmm.
kapha.
Hmm.
So there are different ways to or different things to which our body is exposed in different manners. Those have an effect on either increasing or decreasing the dosha.
Okay. Okay.
Sleep
Got
is
it.
there, exercise is there. So anything that you consider in your lifestyle, anything that you've been exposed to in your life is going to have some effect on vata, pitta, kapha, either one
Okay.
of them, two of them, or all the three.
Mm. Mm. Okay. Like you mentioned about Vat joints, my uh, thought process would be that maybe because we spit the kapha out, when you have a lot of mucus or whatever, it comes out through your nose or through your mouth when you spit it out, or of course you defecate. So I would think that okay, probably kapha is produced more in your lungs or so. So I was wondering whether the
Yes.
I mean, do they have like different production factories?
I wouldn't say production factories, but these are the main organs in which they
Yeah, yeah.
express themselves. So because we are pulling in air and pushing it out
Mm.
continuously non-stop, it's like it is going to dry the whole system very quickly. So that it doesn't get dry, you need to have an expression of enough amount of kapha to keep it moistened and therefore also lubricated.
Lubricated.
So the
Okay.
lubrication is going to is quintessential here. It's like so important because a
Yeah.
lot of time the dryness becomes so bad that you also don't want to breathe, and then you get breathing difficulties. So if you look into the nose, very often you might see that people say that it feels quite a bit choked, but it's dry, and that dryness itself can give a feeling like it's very difficult to breathe because the moisture is
Okay.
not there coming
Okay.
from kapha.
Wow. Yeah, I have experienced that in cold breeze, or if you're in lower temperature areas, like when we had gone to Ladakh and temperatures were close to 0 degrees, the nostrils had gone completely dry and it would hurt to breathe,
Yes,
or to even inhale deeper.
yes,
We were taking shallow breaths because there was very sharp pain in the nostrils.
yes. Can
Ah.
understand. Well, with relation to our gut, imagine this moistening is not there.
Hmm.
Vata people have a tough time, or not just Vata. If other things have increased Vata in in your system, which has an effect on the way your stool is produced. If the stool becomes dry, it also becomes very painful to pass
Yeah.
out of the system because there is hardly any lubrication. Then
Mm.
the immediate complication is you might have what we call as fissures, which means the anus simply produces cracks because it's too hard for it. Sometimes the person also gives in a lot of pressure for the hard stool to move out. That that becomes a major cause for piles.
Okay.
So veins which are there in the uh,
Hmm.
area of the rectum, they simply pop out because of the pressure,
Oh,
and then you have
okay.
piles. They could be bleeding, they could be non-bleeding, and then that's how the whole chain reaction starts.
Got it. Got it. Okay. So many attributes to all of this, no? The way it would affect. Okay. So, uh, What kind of dietary habits then one should bring in to ensure that your bowel movement is smooth, not disrupted, you don't have constipation, or like other people don't have issues eliminating. So I mean, I know it's a very broad question because it will depend from person to person, isn't it? But
There are a few thumb rules which I always suggest to most of my
okay,
patients,
okay.
and I would like to believe that that is how it works. Um, I personally feel that first and foremost, you have to understand when to eat.
When to eat?
When to eat. What to eat is, in my opinion, comes at the third, at, in
Oh,
my priority or the way I see things. So when you eat is important because the body has to prepare itself to, get the food or to receive the food.
okay.
So as an example, you feel hungry.
Hmm.
That's already a signal sent in by the body. Okay, I've prepared myself. Now please get some food in over here.
Okay,
So
okay.
first and foremost, you have to find specific times which are suitable to you and then hold on to these times. So I would say for Pitta Prakriti, maybe 4 or 5. Then for Kapha Prakriti, maybe 2 or 3 meals. And for Vata, maybe 3 or 4 meals because
Okay,
their bodies function differently.
okay.
Uh, and this is about a healthy person. I'm not
Hmm.
saying when a person is unwell. When the person is unwell, then we have to look into the situation.
Right,
Then a proper diet or a proper meal can be suggested.
right.
But still, the thumb rule remains common. That is, you fix the timings of your food. That is, I think, one of the simplest thing possible
Okay.
without getting it into too much complexity. Ye khao, itna these many grams of protein, that many
Hmm.
grams of fat, etc. If your body is not ready for the food and you're consuming it, or the body had prepared itself and then gave it up because you didn't have the time, and now you're putting in food, no matter how healthy the food is, you are inviting indigestion, you are
Okay,
inviting gut health issues.
okay.
That's number one. Number two, which I always suggest, is try to eat two morsels lesser. Could be
Ah.
even more, but at least two morsels. The moment you're thinking that should I take this, I think you've already crossed the limit
Hmm.
what the body requires. But we being humans, we give in to our lusts,
Temptations and yeah,
lusts
yeah,
and temptations. Somebody's made a very nice biryani or a very perfectly roasted roti chapati. It's quite it's
yeah. Tempting.
quite tempting, even simple food.
Yeah.
So that is where we tend to overdo it. So
Okay.
I've seen in all of my patients, um, ones who have an affording background, they are the ones who are asking me, should I have this? Should I have walnuts? Should I have pistachio? Should I have figs and all these things? Actually, most of them are overnourished. So
Hmm.
their digestive system is actually being punished every day with too many ingredients, too much of nutrition, which the system has to break down. It's not like you put in something and bang, it is there in your body. No, there are multiple levels at which it gets converted. From the Ayurvedic perspective, you have the primary digestive system, and then you have different other systems which are breaking down these food substances so that they get the best out of it. So there
Okay.
are multiple levels of digestion. Very simply put, you have the most simplest to understand, the one in the digestive tract, and then the other one which is outside the digestive tract. It could be in the liver, it could be in your skin, it could be in your muscle. You have muscle
Hmm.
broken down, the body needs to produce new muscles,
Yeah.
but it requires these raw materials and they are to be converted in a form. So this all is a part of digestive processes.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
So something going wrong with your food habit uh, will have an effect everywhere inside the body. But coming back to what you asked is regarding, we are overeating. Most
We
of
are
the time we are
overeating, no?
overeating. We don't require those many nuts. We don't require those many almonds and etc. One nuance though which needs to be considered is related to aging. So
Okay.
what happens is the capacity of the body starts to weaken.
Hmm.
Like,
Hmm.
I've got gray hair, my hairline is receding back. I believe I am starting with wrinkles as well. So if these organs are going to show effects of aging, obviously the liver, the pancreas, the digestive system is
Correct.
also going to get aged.
Correct. Correct.
So the kind of muscle stiffness or muscle tone I have at the age of 20 is going to be completely different at the age of 60 or
Correct.
50. Now these are going to be also these changes. There, the whole intestine is a muscular structure,
Right.
so it's going to have an effect on that, and that also needs to be taken into account. And therefore, smaller portion is rather the key, not overloading your system with
Hmm. Hmm.
pistachios and almonds and walnuts and figs
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
nuts and dried fruits.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But the reason I think that people tend to have it is because of aging, the body's capacity to pick up these nutrients becomes weaker,
Okay.
which means it makes sense to give ready-made vitamins and minerals so that the body can absorb it
Absorb.
without having to go through the breaking down processes. So
Okay.
those supplements can be of much quite a lot of help,
Okay.
and I think rather they are essential.
Okay. Okay. All right. So, so eat.
Ah, the
Uh.
third point I forgot.
Huh.
So one is eat on time, one is eat maybe two morsels lesser,
Less. Yeah.
especially if you're from a family who is not who doesn't have to worry about what will I have today for dinner.
Yeah.
I have also another group of patients where if they don't work that day, they are not going to get their wage,
Hmm.
which means there's going to be a big issue regarding what will I eat today.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's a different category of patients where you are malnourished in this form,
Yeah.
where the nourishment is not there, and the other side is you have patients who are overnourished, which leads to malnutrition.
Okay. Overnourished.
Therefore,
Which.
malnourished. Take an
Okay.
example of an obese person. As an extreme example, the obese person is eating a lot of food, but his liver is not functioning to the best. His pancreas is not functioning to the best. His
Ah.
muscles are not functioning to the best because the nutrition, whatever he's taking, is actually not getting metabolized properly.
Okay. I
So
get you. Hmm. 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 That way.
in Ayurveda, there is actually a classification of diseases where you say diseases because of less nutrition and diseases because of overnutrition.
Okay. I guess most urban people probably suffer from overnutrition.
I cannot agree
Hmm.
anymore. Hang
Okay.
on, right. So the third part is how what should I eat that is very specific.
Huh.
So for example, a Vata person should eat more of milk products or ghee or oils,
Okay.
which will help him get his Vata more under control.
Okay.
Whereas Kapha should avoid these kind of foods, which
Okay.
are very oily or high in modern terms, high in protein and high in fats.
Okay.
People are
Kapha
aware
person
only
should avoid that.
people are only thinking about fats and carbohydrates,
Yeah.
but proteins should also be considered. Where
Okay.
do you need them? Are you really having a issue of being malnourished because you don't have any protein intake?
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
And the body is fantastic. It can recycle so many things, especially
Yeah.
proteins.
Yeah.
It can recycle. It's not a big
What do you mean by recycle?
means there is you can reuse those proteins. So our body, there is a process called as phagocytosis. This comes from modern medicine though.
Okay.
So
Okay.
which means there are certain cells which become useless after a certain amount of time. A very simple example would be our red blood cells.
Okay.
So when the red blood cells have a life of only 100 days, plus minus
Hmm.
about 100 days. So they lose their flexibility,
Okay.
and then the spleen is such a structure that when the blood cells have to navigate through the spleen, if they don't have the flexibility and the size that they should be, they simply get broken down. So this broken down blood is actually again recycled. So the blood has some iron, blood has some bile
Hmm.
components
Hmm.
coming
Hmm.
from the
Hmm.
bile. The blood has also proteins. The body breaks it down and rebuilds it again, so that this blood has a very good oxygen carrying capacity. It has It has the flexibility to go anywhere that this oxygen is required, so on and so forth. So
Oh,
there's a lot of recycling going on in the body.
okay. So proteins also get used
Yes,
the
they can
similar
be
way.
used, but they can also be reused.
All right. Okay. Interesting. Body is very intelligent. No, it has its own ways of healing itself. No, we only overdo it. Yeah. I was doing one of the podcasts, and there this lady who's into she's a physiotherapist, but she works mostly with sports people and all of that. And she happened to say that, she used this term called rich man's syndrome,
Yeah,
where you have all kinds of supplements stacked up in your cabinet. You'll have everything, almonds, all the berries, all the blueberries, and everything. They'll be eating quinoa and whatnot, all those fancy names and everything, and yet they will have gut issues, or they will suffer from over supplementation also, and
yeah.
stuff
They
like that.
don't
So
realize it because there are articles floating around where they are these are important things. Certainly, they are
yeah,
important. The question remains whether you need it.
need it, need it.
If
Yeah,
you need
yeah,
it, please have it. You need to have it. But if you don't need it and you say, well, still I'll have it because it's so, no,
yeah,
no, no.
yeah,
Then
yeah,
you are
yeah,
getting into the wrong direction.
yeah.
One thing I wanted
Yeah.
to mention about the third part about what one should use,
Yeah.
I would say bread is the Indian bread, chapati, roti should be should be used by you. Cook in little bit of less oil, but do cook with some oil.
Ah,
Those try to see that you're more so cooking the vegetables on the steam and not frying them. It's not very healthy to have too much of fried foods because the
yeah.
oil temperature is taken up at least 250 degrees. That breaks down the oils, and then this can be a bit of an irritant for the whole digestive system from
Okay.
the mouth to the anus.
Okay.
And so frying is something which you need to be careful with. um, so fried foods rather less. I need not say that get stay away from kiosks where you have ready-made food.
Mm.
They are the way they pick their ingredients is completely different
Yeah.
as compared to
Yeah.
where the way you pick your ingredients. You go to the market, thus bar, you'll see the vegetable upside down in all angles.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're going to tap it and smell it, and then you buy it. So that's a different thing. And I would say you should have your roti, which is bread. You should have a little bit of rice, a little bit of dal, and maybe a couple of sabzis, one being liquid and the other being solid.
Okay.
And if you still have the time after producing or after making all these things, a bit of a salad would be always welcome.
Okay.
So
Okay.
this I see as something as a balanced diet. The
Okay.
nuances will be different as per so which vegetable uh, for whom. So kapha
Mm-hmm.
will have one set of vegetables, pitta will have another set of
Mm-hmm.
vegetables, kapha. All of them also probably having an overlap. But those details I would say would go in situations where the person is unwell. If you're well, just stick to this simple
Right.
to fix your time, have two morsels lesser. Don't wait till you really are full and the body says,
Full.
oh
Hmm.
no,
Hmm.
no, I
Hmm.
had it. Stay,
True.
don't go to that point,
True.
and have have a combination of these three things. So sometimes you make just a biryani. Now the biryani has a few onions, has a few tomatoes, etc.
Yeah.
Where so today you did not get your roti. Well, anyways, next time you have a second meal, the body already says, "Ah, I've had biryani. I'd rather
Yeah.
have roti or
Yeah.
I'd rather have chapati." So
Yeah.
that is how the body also listen to your body. The
Correct.
body will usually give you the correct cravings
True.
usually, unless you are unwell. Once a person becomes unwell, then the cravings might also become confusing or actually inviting gut
Hmm.
issues.
Hmm. 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 Okay. Yeah. I mean, if we start really paying attention to the gut, to our signals in the body, we start making the right calls.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Any herbs that can help for digestive issues?
There are many herbs. I would say some simple remedies which you have at home, which you could certainly use. So you have bloating. If it is related to hyperacidity,
Mm-hmm.
then you could simply chew a little bit of fennel
Fennel
seeds.
seeds.
That is a very simple remedy
Hmm.
and very effective.
Okay.
And the chewing part is should be done in such a manner that while you're chewing it, the saliva which gets very sweet because of the chewing
Mm-hmm.
and the mixing of the saliva, that saliva needs to be gulped down.
Right.
Then the other thing, if there's a lot of loss of appetite, then you could chew also a piece of ginger,
Okay.
maybe this big,
Okay.
1 centimeter by 1 centimeter by one, so 1 cubic cc to up to 1 cubic inch. So that much you could also consume if you have bloating associated with lack of appetite.
Okay.
Then this is with relation to the stomach. The small intestine and the large intestine, in those cases, coriander, cumin,
Hmm.
um, carom seeds.
Hmm.
So these are very good. These are good for the small and the large intestine. So if
Hmm.
your gases are in those areas, then you will have them. These will help you.
Right.
In such cases, I also suggest to have a piece of papaya when you're having your
Okay.
when you're having meals. Small piece of papaya,
Ripe papaya.
ripe papaya. That helps the digestive processes. It can Small piece will not increase your pitta, but the digestion will certainly be supported.
Okay.
And walk, I think I already
Hmm.
mentioned. Walking post meals is even if you don't do anything else, but certainly walk after your meals, you will see a major difference
Major
in bloating
difference.
and gases and hyperacidity,
Okay. Okay.
even
All
for
right.
constipation.
All right. With regards to constipation, I forgot this question that many people take support of laxatives.
Mhm.
Um, Prolonged use of that is also not advisable, isn't it?
Correct.
Uh, for older people, probably because I hear older people in the family complain about having issues and defecating or whatever. So then sometimes we give them laxatives. But in general, if it's a blanket thing, right? That we should not give laxatives for a prolonged period, no, to people.
Yes, I would say so. I would certainly agree to what you're saying, because what the laxative, if it's a strong laxative, s- from the Ayurvedic perspective, palak can also be, sorry, spinach. Keep
Mm-hmm.
forgetting we have, it's also for English speaking audience. So we have spinach, we have methi.
Huh.
Methi is just fenugreek. Then there's another. So these things also work as purgatives.
Okay.
But we don't eat methi every day or palak every
Right.
day, or because it can also, while it is causing a little bit of good motion, if there's something which is stronger, it is going to push out everything, and it
Oh.
starts to push out mucoid stools. It starts to push out water drawn from the intestinal walls, making it softer, making the stool softer, and then pushing it out.
Okay.
And so these can give problems. They increase vata, in my opinion. Purgation itself is a vata increasing
Mm-hmm.
therapy. And if you're going to take it for a longer time, you will obviously get to the many diseases that vata might cause.
All right.
So what do we do in Ayurveda? You try to adjust things with your diet. If it is helping you, great, fantastic. Otherwise, sometimes you might have to use purgatives.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
There are herbal purgatives. There are modern medicine chemicals which are very good as purgatives.
Yeah.
But if you tend to have, or you have to have a purgative every once or twice a week, then I think you should keep visiting a physician now and then.
Hmm. Hmm.
From the Ayurvedic perspective, purgation dries out the colon completely.
Oh.
So even the
Okay.
small intestine and the large intestine both can get drier because of the usage of purgatives.
Oh wow.
They either
Okay.
increase the motility, or they pull in fluids into the gut so that your stool becomes soft and can be pushed out of the body.
All right. Okay. Even for older people?
Older people should try to see, they often need to take these purgatives. Just like I said, our hair is going to go gray, our muscles are going to lose strength. Similarly, the gut musculature is also going to lose its strength.
Yeah. Yeah.
It loses its form.
Mm-hmm.
There has to be a certain tone to it. that
correct.
tone also gets disturbed because of old age.
Okay, okay. Hmm.
So they
All
might
right.
require, and there are other practices also. Yoga can do a lot of, can help a lot with relation to gut health, especially also in older people. Um, Doing exercise with weights, that also can help with the gut health. Seems far away from each other, but when you're doing weights, you're standing up, you're moving them around. That standing posture itself aids a lot uh, with relation to the movement of the large intestine. Gravity plays an important role, and older
Okay.
people tend to get secluded. They want to not move
Hmm.
around.
Hmm.
So if they are forced into doing, I mean, not forced horribly, but if they are going to do some body exercises, that is going to make them move.
Hmm.
That movement itself helps regulate vata and therefore the movement of the bowel.
Okay. This reminds me of an incident. In fact, had this conversation only yesterday in the gym. There was this one guy who had come for new registration, and I overheard because I was standing there sipping water. He says, "जब भी मैं body हिलाता हूँ, whenever I move my body around or whatever, I burp a lot. I have I continuously burp, so I hope it is not a problem." He was trying to check, if that is okay in the gym scenario because I do get that and all that. The trainer who was making notes of it was a little like taken aback. What kind of problem is this? So what would that be? Because now
Yeah,
somewhere you just mentioned,
yeah, the nerves also play an important role.
huh?
So the brain is connected with the gut is connected with the brain, and which this is done through either through chemicals which are called as hormones and enzymes, etc., and the other connection is through your nervous system.
Okay,
And sometimes this nervous system can send simply wrong signals because the digestive system is not functioning optimally.
okay.
So the burping signal comes to try to register something else. Ultimately, the body is trying to communicate with you. And then in this context, I would say, well, there is some nervous issue which might need to be taken under the loop.
Oh, okay. It's much bigger problem than
No, not
what?
much bigger. It's a different problem. I
Okay.
wouldn't say one problem is bigger than the other. But
No,
the person who suffers from these things thinks
I know.
that that is the biggest problem.
Yeah. No, what I meant was, it may not be a simple digestive issue where he has eaten something wrong and therefore is getting that. There's something else going on.
Yes,
A much
yes,
bigger problem than what is
absolutely
been
right.
assumed,
Absolutely right.
which needs investigation. Yeah. Because even I was wondering, okay, I heard it for the first time and I just, yeah,
I know
remembered it.
quite a few patients who, if you press them anywhere, they burp.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you just press them any point on the body and they burp. And that is very difficult. That makes their life not that easy.
Oh,
So those are the things which do come across, but those are linked mainly, at least the patients that I'm talking about, mainly connected with your nervous system, and not necessarily that they are having bad food or their gut is out of order. It's pretty
wow.
in that way. I would say, yeah, the human body is very complicated,
Very complicated,
interconnected, and
no?
you should everybody should try to take a look at the whole being and not just one part of it.
One part of it, or do symptomatic treatment or whatever. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, yeah. Okay. Um, what impact does the digestive system has on the sleep? Because you did mention that earlier, sleep and stress levels, and the other way around also. If you have uh, probably suffering from insomnia or lack of sound sleep and mental stress or whatever, how would that impact the gut? I guess they both
Yeah, they are interconnected. It's
interconnected, no?
sometimes very difficult to find whether it is the egg or it is the hen. It becomes so difficult, but they are interconnected, and if one gets affected, the other will also get affected.
Hmm.
And where it begins is what Ayurvedic physicians try to do. They try to find out, did it begin in the gut and then got this problem, or
Hmm.
whether it is this problem that is affecting the gut. So if you don't sleep properly, the digestive system doesn't work optimally.
Okay.
Vice versa, if your digestive system is not working properly, your sleep might also get affected.
Hmm. Hmm.
And
Hmm.
you can, if you look into yourself, okay, there I had to stay awake because I had my exams,
Hmm.
or I had to stay awake because I was traveling, or I
Hmm.
had to
Hmm.
stay awake because there was some function in the home. And then it started over there. So you could
Hmm.
say, well, your sleep affected your gut.
Hmm.
Or it can also go the other way. You ate something wrong and you started to have a gut issue,
Hmm.
and then gradually you see that gradually your sleep is also getting affected, so you know
Right.
where the problem started. And the treatment focuses on not just the problem, but also where it started.
Hmm.
So for
Hmm.
example, in the case where a person has had bad sleep
Hmm.
and therefore it has led to gut issues, then a good massage, there's a therapy called as Samvanana therapy.
Hmm.
If
Hmm.
you get a good massage done, get your day, a couple of days or more than that, if possible, to slow down, to get into yourself, will have a very positive effect on the gut as well.
Okay. 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 So, now we have all companies working in shifts, right? So, somebody who has a night shift will have a completely disrupted system
Yes,
during the
yes.
day, no?
Is that so? Working in shifts is certainly one of the causes which lead to gut issues as well as sleep issues.
Okay. Even if they try to catch up, so for example, if somebody has a night shift, they come home by 6 o'clock in the morning or whatever, but because they haven't had sleep, they're sleepy, and they go off to sleep for 7, 8 hours and then they eat or whatever, it doesn't reset, the system doesn't.
So even if the person is in a habit of, if he's in a shift or he has a shift where I know quite a lot of my patients who work in US timing, UK timings,
Yeah, yeah,
Australian time. So
yeah.
they are working at different hours of the day
Yes,
and not necessarily an Indian day shift.
right.
But it does take a toll on the system. There are, from the modern perspective, there are enough studies which help us to understand that sleep is essential at a certain time because the body can heal itself again. What Ayurveda has a different approach in this context is that nighttime sleep is very important according to Ayurveda. Daytime sleep is very bad according to Ayurveda.
Oh, okay.
A small nap to get yourself back into senses, like you have the Shatapauli, which means you're walking for the hundreds, and Vama Kukshi, which means you're lying on the left lateral side
Left.
post meals. That much is enough, but
Okay.
not beyond that, where you're 2 hours or 1 hour or more than that in completely knocked out
Hmm.
deep into
Hmm. Hmm.
sleep, may not be healthy for the person.
Okay.
From the Ayurvedic perspective, the nighttime is called as tamo prabha. There is a dominance of tamas, interpreted as darkness, can be also interpreted as an energy which makes you shut down and become lethargy is not the right word in this context, but being able to shut down and go to complete rest.
Hmm. Hmm.
And when the sun goes up, this tamas is gone, which means now you're into the sattva time,
Hmm.
and that is how you're awake and you're energetic, and the body's healed itself through the night. It's
Hmm.
got its resting period. So whatever wear and tear had happened, that gets again repaired through the night sleep.
Okay. Okay.
And I think the daytime sleep doesn't do that as well. I believe that you have anabolic activity and catabolic activity, and which is stronger is also dependent on the time of the day. So
Hmm.
if it is night time, your body would rather go into an anabolic metabolism where it is able to build up things, and during the daytime, because it's going to use its strength, it goes more into the catabolic stage.
Catabolic.
And we should take advantage of it
Okay.
and not try to force the body to do anabolic activity when it is designed to be in a
Hmm. Hmm.
catabolic
Hmm.
activity, and vice versa. So the body is designed to go in a anabolic activity during the night time, and we are forcing it to get into the catabolic activity during the night
Yeah.
time. So in both scenarios, the efficiency goes down. In a
Okay.
younger person, that efficiency gone down doesn't affect too much,
Okay.
but as you start to age, the body does respond with all these
Yeah.
different signs and symptoms.
What about fermented foods? Now, this coming back to
Mhm.
the regular
Fermented
thing.
foods are actually very
Good in
good in
Ayurveda.
my opinion, but again you need to see. So in most of the fermentation processes, there is some sour taste which starts to develop in the substance that is being fermented. The question is whether this sour taste is suitable to me or not. For example, sour would be suitable for a vata prakriti person, not necessarily for a pitta prakriti person or a kapha prakriti person.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean that they don't have to ever eat something sour. The classics mention that you should have everything, all
Mm.
tastes. You should have 6 different tastes in your diet. You could have, primarily it should be sweet, but sweet doesn't mean sugar. For example, the taste of rice, the taste of roti, the taste of bhakri is considered to be sweet. The
Okay.
taste of what do you call this? Pumpkin is considered to be
Sweet.
sweet. Carrot, potato, these are
Hmm.
sweet. So of the 6 tastes, sweet is the primary one
Okay.
that should be there. Then you have sour, and then you have salty.
Hmm.
But sour is also one of the important tastes that are required by the body. So everybody requires 6 tastes, but we need to see. So, for example, like I mentioned, for the sour taste, kapha and pitta are not the best candidates because sour taste can increase your kapha and your pitta.
Okay.
So that way, fermentation would certainly work 30% of the time.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
But like in Ayurveda, they say you should eat everything. I would say yes, please eat fermented foods as well, unless now you're suffering from something and your Ayurvedic physician looks at you and says, well, we
Hmm.
can't afford this much.
Hmm. Hmm.
But
Hmm.
for a general person, please have fermented foods.
Okay. Okay.
You have kimchi, I
Kimchi.
think.
Kimchi.
Kimchi, thank you. Thank you.
Mm.
So that is
Kimchi.
something fermented and is considered to be healthy. But I would say, because of the sour taste, take into consideration whether it is going to suit you or not.
Okay. Okay.
Good chance that it will suit you. And if you don't know, then you can always have a small amount of it.
All right.
The
All right.
beautiful quote from the Ayurvedic literature, it says, Matra Shisyat,
Mm-hmm.
means always try to find the best dose.
Okay.
Keep the dose in mind. And
Mm.
this dose usually goes to the lower side and not to the higher side.
Okay. Sorry. Of your your Ayurveda shlok, what you just said, also sounded German a bit.
Oh my God. Sorry. Sorry.
um, okay, so yeah, so dosage is important, how much you
Yes.
take and everything. So in India, uh, we ferment like the idli batter or so.
Yes.
Then the other thing we also make is kanji.
Yes. Very good.
That is very
Very
good,
good.
right? Beetroot kanji,
Yes.
carrot kanji,
Yes.
they make
Yes.
it.
So kanji, curds, better form would be, it's also
Oh,
kind of fermentation. So you
okay.
have curds, you have dahi or yogurt, curds, dahi. Then you have buttermilk.
Uh-huh.
Buttermilk is a very, very effective remedy for most of the gut issues.
Okay.
Most of them.
Okay.
So the only thing that you need to see is how sour your
Curd
buttermilk
is
is
buttermilk.
or
Okay.
curd is.
Hmm. Hmm.
So the sourer it gets, it's going to help your vata quite a bit, but it
Okay.
is going to increase your pitta and even kapha. So the
Mm.
lesser sour it is, obviously there is not going to be so much of a disturbance on pitta. But the buttermilk itself is very good for the complete gut health, especially the small intestine and the large intestine.
Okay. Okay.
The beauty of buttermilk is that you can also adjust how much butter you have in the buttermilk. So when you make the charge, when you make the buttermilk, you're churning yogurt with certain amount of water to make a thin, runny
Yeah. Yeah.
liquid out of it. It separates the butter. You can either remove it off or you can consume it depending
Hmm.
on
Hmm.
what your body requires. Does it
Hmm.
require that kind of oiliness? Use it. You rather think you're overweight, you have a lot of fat in you, then completely remove it.
Remove it. Okay.
But
Okay.
that buttermilk will help you. Buttermilk
Hmm.
regulates the intestine, it helps the body to, uh, from the modern perspective, it's a very good prebiotic and also a probiotic
Okay.
because it helps the milieu of the intestine and the body friendly bacteria can grow very well with it from the modern
Okay.
perspective. And therefore, fermented but fantastic.
Okay. So, this reminds me when I had come to you for consultation, you had mentioned that the curd that you get in the containers you can call it as a dead curd. This the ready-made curds that you get. Because I have noticed now when you mentioned buttermilk, and it just struck me that when I'm making buttermilk out of that curd, I hardly see any butter in it. It is just breaking down the curd,
Yes.
mixing it and water, churning it, and that's it. There's hardly any butter in it. So
Yes.
in true sense, it is not buttermilk then. Buttermilk would be probably curd which is made at home, set
Yeah.
at home.
Absolutely right. Absolutely. The thing is that in today's in these times, nobody has the time. You don't have
Yeah.
the time. When are you going to have your buttermilk made, and when are you going to? So that's the reason why um, you have to rely on these things, and it's better than nothing. That is for sure.
Okay.
I don't see it as something that is harmful. It will profit you. You will get
Okay.
something out of it.
Okay. Hmm.
It's not that bad. It's just that it is not as good as it could be.
It could be. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it could be much better, because
Yeah.
if you have the bacteria which is alive, then you have a probiotic in it,
Hmm.
and not just the prebiotic, which means something which is going to help the bacteria to grow.
Right.
So that way, I think with live bacteria,
It is
in
always
my
better.
opinion,
Yeah.
it's the best.
Yeah. And you can see the difference even in the buttermilk that you make, or even the quality of curd, the one which is set at home and compared to the one which you buy ready made, the tin ones, sealed ones. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So so in Ayurveda, since we spoke of fermented, it is again either a prebiotic or a probiotic, right? That's what we are talking about. Pre and
From
pro
the
are like
from the
modern.
modern, so these are
Yeah,
modern terminologies.
yeah.
Ayurveda takes a look at it at slightly differently, whether it is high in fluid, whether it is low in fluid, whether it is dry, whether it is oily, whether it is hard, whether it is soft, so on and so forth.
Even in fermented foods.
Even in fermented foods. So kanji,
Mm.
for example, is a good combination. I've
Okay.
eaten a kanji which was made with also. I hope
Whatever. Yeah,
our
yeah, yeah,
viewers know that's the
yeah.
same dal which we use in the production of idli.
Idli.
So
Yeah.
you make the
Kanji out of the
kanji.
dal.
No, you can make the kanji with rice, but you can add a little bit of roasted
Urad dal to it.
this dal, urad dal to it.
Okay.
Few, so then you have different consistencies of food also entering into your
Hmm,
system.
hmm, hmm.
Earlier on, I think I lost the track of my thoughts. So foods, how you prepare them, your body should have them. I just mentioned the fried food, but you can steam the food, you can shallow fry the food, you can roast the food, you can grill the food, you can bake the food. So all these cooking processes should be utilized as much as possible. Then there are foods which come in different consistencies. So something which you can drink, something which you have to lick, something which you have to chew, and something which you have to bite into. They are of
Okay.
different consistencies. And the Ayurvedic concept is that those consistencies will also have a nourishing effect in the body of tissues which have a similar consistency. So, for example, if you have to bite into something, then it will nourish your tissues which could be bitten. If you have something fluid, which is not rocket science, but if you're using something which is fluidy, obviously your plasma and blood will get positively
Hmm,
affected or
hmm.
more nourished, because the form itself is giving a lot of fluid in it. So
Wow.
the consistency of the food is important.
Hmm.
Rather, you should have all consistencies as much as possible.
Okay.
If I may mention something else, people feel very quickly overwhelmed by so much information very often. So how will I integrate so many things into one diet?
Hmm.
Well, you could look at it this way. You are a person who's having 3 meals a day, which gives you 90 meals a month,
Hmm.
and you could spread all these things over your 90 meals over the month,
Hmm.
or even 21 meals in a week. It does not mean that every meal you have to
To have.
have these things.
In fact, it will give us so much variety
Yes. Yes.
in incorporating this. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And one important pressing question, which I see many people get confused about, to some extent, even I am, is about intermittent fasting. How does Ayurveda look at it that way? Or is there anything like intermittent fasting in Ayurveda?
Not with the in the manner which it is which it is known for today. So you have a
Yeah.
16-hour window of no food and then just do
Yeah.
things,
Yeah.
or Some even say many meals, how much ever you want in that 8 hours. Ayurveda, like I mentioned earlier on, it depends on the individual. So ultimately, it is about eating less. So there are also some counter arguments regarding intermittent fasting, that it is ultimately just lesser calories
Okay.
or lesser food intake. That is what becomes the most important part of it. But directly intermittent fasting is not mentioned in this manner in Ayurveda. There are
Okay.
fasts that they have mentioned, so you can go on a 7 day fast or few day fast depending on what you're going through, what sign and symptoms you have. So, as an example, most of the overnourishment related disorders, it could be diarrhea, it could be vomiting, it could be fever, because you're overnourished. In that situation, a fasting is suggested. A
Okay.
fast of 1 day, 2 days, 7 days fast is suggested. And you have the other group of people who are hardly getting any nutrition, then in those cases, fasting is seen as a contraindication. They shouldn't fast. They should
Oh,
have couple of meals at least every day.
okay. Or rather, so basically, I think fasting should be done only under supervision or under advice of a doctor, right? Instead of, because people have started, I know many cases where they started doing intermittent fasting and then their BP dropped and there are a lot of issues and weakness and stuff like that because they were, I think, putting in whatever 16 hours or 18 hours or whatever. They would have their meal at 6 o'clock in the evening and the next day till lunch or whatever. They were trying to experiment with all of that. So,
In general, it is a good thing I because I think, as I've mentioned earlier on, overeating is a problem. So now you suddenly
okay.
tell yourself, well, I'm not going to eat for 16 hours. It's a fantastic thing to do
Okay.
that way. So regardless whether you have vata, pitta or kapha, you're going to have your food intake reduced. The body gets a chance to rest,
Hmm.
especially with
Hmm.
relation to digestion part. So
Hmm.
that way it is advisable. Like I said, mainly for the people who are overnourished,
Okay. Okay.
which I find often in my practice a irony. So there are people who are doing intermittent fasting, and then they ask me, well, I'm going to have six badam, six six almonds and two walnuts and two figs and 10 cashew nuts, etc. It just beats the whole purpose. You're then you're going to load the system with all so many
Again,
things.
yeah.
It just beats the purpose in my opinion.
Okay. Wow. Wonderful. Thank you
Thank you.
so much. Thank you so much, doctor.
Thank you.
Quite an
Thank you.
insightful thing about gut health.
Thank you as
It
well for
can,
inviting me.
yeah, it can be simplified. It's not so complicated. But of course, if you're unwell also, then of course a doctor's consultation is must. But otherwise, we can have a lot of remedies in house to take care of our gut health, no?
Yes,
Of our
absolutely.
digestion. All righty. Thank you so much, doctor, for taking time out and coming here.
Thank you
Thank
as
you.
well.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you for tuning in. If this conversation helped you reflect on your food habits, understanding Ayurvedic wisdom, and if you know someone who might also need this information, please do share our podcast with them. Yeah. Until next time, stay mindful, stay kind. Thank you.